I bought a second-hand phone. The gallery showed photos of a life I never lived. The phone felt cool and smooth in my hand, a slate-gray rectangle of forgotten memories. I'd snagged it for a song at a pawn shop, a desperate upgrade from my cracked screen and glacial processing speed. Back home, curled on my beat-up couch, I powered it on, skipping past the initial setup because, hey, who needed a fresh start when you just wanted to scroll Instagram? But what popped up wasn't my usual feed. It was a gallery, brimming with photos, a life, vibrant and utterly unknown to me. The ghost in my pocket. My name's Ethan Miller, and I'm 24, navigating the usual post-college slump, dead-end job, takeout for dinner, and a general feeling of being perpetually adrift. The phone, a slightly scuffed Samsung, became a window into another world, a life lived with a vibrancy I could only dream of. The first few pictures were a jumble, a mosaic of everyday moments. There was a girl, around my age, maybe a year or two younger. Her name, I later pieced together from captions and a few stray documents I found, was Chloe Davis. She was 23, her smile was infectious, wide and genuine, crinkling the corners of her eyes. She had a cascade of reddish-brown hair that seemed to catch the light in every shot. Then there was a guy, a few years older than Chloe, probably 27 or 28. His name was Jake Harper. He was often in the background, a steady presence, his arm around Chloe's waist, or his head thrown back in laughter. He had a strong jawline and eyes that crinkled at the corners when he smiled, just like Chloe's. And there was Lily, a little girl, maybe 5 or 6, with a mischievous grin and eyes that sparkled like her mother's. Their lives unfolded before me, a silent movie playing on a small screen. There were beach trips, sun-drenched and full of laughter. Chloe, her hair wild with sea spray, building elaborate sandcastles with Lily, Jake playfully burying them up to their necks. I saw them hiking through lush green forests, Lily perched on Jake's shoulders, pointing at something unseen. There were cozy evenings, curled on a plush sofa, a dog, a golden retriever named Max, I learned, nestled between them. Max was a constant, his goofy grin a familiar sight in countless photos. I found myself drawn into their narrative, a voyeur of their happiness. I saw birthdays, cake-smeared faces, and brightly wrapped presents. Christmas mornings, twinkling lights, and Lily's wide-eyed wonder. Anniversaries, quiet dinners, and shared glances that spoke volumes. It was a life brimming with warmth, with connection, with a palpable sense of belonging. My own phone, the old one, was a sparse collection by comparison, blurry selfies, screenshots of memes, and the occasional landscape shot from a forgotten road trip. This new phone, this accidental portal, was a stark contrast. It made me feel empty, I guess. Not jealous, exactly, but a profound sense of missing something I'd never had. The narrative unfolds. As I scrolled deeper, the timeline of their lives became clearer. The early photos were just Chloe and Jake, young and carefree. Then came the pregnancy announcements, the first blurry ultrasound, Chloe's belly blossoming in subsequent photos. Lily's arrival was marked by a flurry of newborn shots, tiny hands grasping fingers, soft blankets, and adoring gazes. I saw Lily's first steps, wobbling on unsteady legs, Jake's outstretched hands ready to catch her. Her first lost tooth, a gap-toothed grin proudly displayed. School plays, where Lily, dressed as a sheep or a star, beamed with pure joy. These weren't just snapshots. They were chapters in a beautifully written book, each image a sentence, building a rich, vibrant story. I discovered their routines: morning coffee on a sun-drenched porch, weekend trips to the farmer's market, picnics in the park. Their house, too, became familiar, a cozy haven with overflowing bookshelves and vibrant artwork on the walls. I saw their garden, bursting with colorful flowers in summer and covered in a blanket of snow in winter. Max, the golden retriever, was always there, a furry shadow, a silent companion to their adventures. Chloe was a painter, I gathered. There were photos of her easel, canvases in various stages of completion, splashes of paint on her clothes. Her art was vibrant, full of life, just like her. Jake seemed to work from home, often seen with a laptop, but always ready to drop everything for a quick hug or a playful wrestle with Lily. They seemed to balance each other, a perfect harmony. The little details were what really got to me. The way Jake would always reach for Chloe's hand, even when just walking side by side. The way Lily would bury her face in Max's fur, murmuring secrets only he could hear. The way Chloe's eyes would sparkle when she looked at Jake, a quiet adoration that spoke volumes. It wasn't just a family, it was a unit, a tight-knit circle of love and laughter. A hint of discord, a whisper of change. As the photos progressed, I started to notice subtle shifts. Nothing dramatic, just tiny cracks in the seemingly perfect facade. In some later photos, Jake wasn't smiling as widely. Chloe's eyes, while still warm, sometimes held a hint of weariness. Lily, while still joyful, occasionally seemed a little more subdued. There were fewer photos of just Jake and Chloe together, and more of them with Lily. The spontaneous dates seemed to dwindle. I saw more pictures of Chloe by herself, painting late into the night, or of Jake on his laptop, his expression serious. Then came the period with fewer photos overall. Gaps in the timeline, weeks, sometimes even a month, would pass without a single new image. It was unsettling, like a sudden silence after a joyous melody. I found myself checking the dates on the photos, trying to piece together what might have happened. The photos that did appear during this period were different. Fewer candid moments, more staged smiles. The light in their eyes seemed a little dimmer. The unspoken joy that permeated their earlier life seemed to have receded, replaced by a quiet tension. I saw Chloe in a few shots looking out a window, her back to the camera, a sense of melancholy in her posture. Jake was often seen on the phone, his brow furrowed. One photo, in particular, stood out. It was of Lily, sitting alone on the swing set in their backyard, her head down, her small shoulders slumped. Max was beside her, his head resting on her lap, as if offering comfort. It was a stark image, a stark contrast to the lively, boisterous Lily I had come to know. The unveiling. Then, a series of photos appeared that brought everything into sharp, painful focus. There was a picture of a single packed box in their living room, labeled, Jake's Things. Then another, of Jake in the doorway, a suitcase beside him, his face unreadable. Chloe stood a few feet away, her arms wrapped around herself, her head bowed. Lily wasn't in these photos. Max was sitting near Chloe's feet, his gaze fixed on Jake. The next few photos were heartbreaking. Chloe and Lily on the sofa, Chloe hugging Lily tightly, both their faces tear-streaked. A picture of Max, alone by the front door, looking out, as if waiting. The house, in subsequent photos, felt emptier. The vibrant colors seemed muted. I saw Chloe trying to put on a brave face for Lily. They were still doing things, park trips, ice cream outings, but the underlying sadness was palpable. Lily's smile was less frequent, her eyes often holding a distant look. And then, the last few photos. They were of Chloe, her face etched with exhaustion, but a flicker of determination in her eyes. She was painting again, but her art was different now, darker, more introspective, yet still beautiful. There were photos of Lily, slowly, tentatively, beginning to smile again, especially when she was with Max, or when Chloe was reading to her. The very last picture was of Chloe and Lily, sitting on the porch swing, silhouetted against a setting sun. Chloe had her arm around Lily, and Lily was leaning into her mother's side. The image was filled with a quiet resilience, a sense of hope even in the face of immense change. It wasn't the boisterous joy of the earlier photos, but a deeper, more profound kind of peace. The weight of a borrowed life. The gallery ended there. No more photos, just the silent testament of a life lived, loved, and then broken, only to be pieced back together, albeit differently. I sat there for a long time, the phone heavy in my hand. It was a strange feeling, holding the remnants of someone else's existence. I had become an unwitting participant in their journey, a silent witness to their joys and their sorrows. It made me think about my own life, the unlived moments, the connections I hadn't forged. Their story, even in its quiet ending, had a profound impact on me. It was a reminder of the fragility of happiness, but also of the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Chloe, Jake, Lily, and even Max, had shown me a glimpse of what it meant to truly live, to love, and to navigate the complexities of life with courage. I still have that phone. I haven't deleted their photos. Sometimes, when I feel lost or adrift, I scroll through them, not with envy, but with a strange sense of comfort. It's like I have a hidden library of human experience in my pocket, a silent reminder that life, in all its messy, beautiful glory, keeps moving forward. And maybe, just maybe, if they could find their way through their storm, so could I. It's a strange thing, a second-hand phone, holding the echoes of a life I never lived, but one that somehow, inexplicably, changed mine.